Hello and welcome to another episode of the program Gender and Parliament, reaching you from the services of the Nigerian Television Authority, particularly the NTA Parliament channel. I am Vivian Idekbefo, and today we have a very interesting guest you would like to meet. She is an entrepreneur and a politician. She is Umma Getso. I'm sure that name is not strange to you if you remember the 2019 elections. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Let's start with knowing you outside politics.
Well, my name is Umma Abdullahi Getso from Kano State, a mother, a wife, and an entrepreneur, and somebody who has a lot of passion for her country, and just a normal person, a typical Nigerian.
Yeah, normal person, yes. And from your profile, I see that you studied banking and then you ventured into politics. You're also an entrepreneur. What triggered your interest in politics?
Well, I studied banking and finance in the Kano State Polytechnic, but even when I was in secondary school, I have a passion for my country. I don't know how it happens. So is it because I'm born into a kind of political home, right from my grandfather, from my father, and my husband too is a politician. But even before I discovered what they are doing, but I don't know why. Maybe if it's in another country, I'll be an activist. But in Nigeria, activism doesn't directly work. If you really want to make an impact, you have to join the political environment. So I joined politics because of my passion for my nation, because I know that things have not been well growing up. So I always feel like, yeah, as I'm growing up, I'm a person that always used to talk on social media during the BB thing. I'm a person that always used to create groups to, identify the problems of Nigerians. But as time goes on, as I'm growing up, I felt like, no, I'm done talking. It's time for me to act, and that's directly been into politics. And that's why I didn't even intend to join all these big parties. I tried to register my little NPM then. So and when I said the NPM wasn't as ready to dream along, that's when I joined to a like-minded party, that's YPP.
Oh, interesting. When you say you noticed a lot of things were not right as you were growing up, what sort of things?
Well, as a typical African and a Nigerian, we are seeing the outside world. We travel a little and we are peeping into what's happening in the modern world, in the Western world, even in Asia. You can see that, let's take Dubai for example, and even China or India. If you picture them 20 or 30 years ago, you cannot believe they will be what they are today. But I think we are always, as a typical Nigerian, you always think like last 10 years is better than today. If you compare prices, if you compare infrastructure, isn't it? There's nothing that's improving in this country. It's always like, we remember the olden days. So that means things are not definitely happening, and we need to make them happen.
So when you joined politics and you went for the smaller parties, like you said, it was to make a change. What have you been able to achieve?
That's a very good one. Because with my YPP, in YPP number 1, I met like-minded people, as I said earlier, the people that think we should contribute to this country without thinking of nothing in return. And my candidacy with Professor Kingsley Moghalu doesn't just happen as in it wasn't planned. But when I met Professor Kingsley Moghalu, I discovered that this is a man that has a vision for this country. This is a man that is different from all other politicians. And even Comrade Bishop Amakri, that's my party chairman. When I met him, I know that, yeah, this is a person that has been giving back to the society without expecting anything in return. And that's the kind of ideology I share. So I don't intend to run for any political office, as I promised myself, until I'm 40. But meeting Professor Kingsley Moghalu, I believe that, yes, I have to support this man. I have to dream along with him. I shouldn't chicken out. as far as I am promising or dreaming within myself that I have to contribute to this country. And the impact we made, as you asked, even the economy team that President Buhari now inaugurated is picked from big. That's Professor Gensley Moghalu's book. So what we did is giving Nigerians an option, giving Nigerians hope. And as I'm talking to you now, I believe in 2023 there are a lot of young politicians like me, women, and people from other categories or different groups that never believed they would be politicians will definitely join politics, because we all came out to show Nigerians that there are more, there are better options than what you used to have. And I can see maybe we've gone like, let me say 10% now. But from here, with these 4 years, from 2019 to 2023, I know we will definitely go far.
Okay, yeah, and you talk about your generation, that's the younger generation, and I'm wondering, when you said you would go into politics or you made move into politics, your family, what was their reaction? Your friends and the social circle you belong to, what was their reaction? Did everyone support you? Some people must have said, no, leave it, you are too young, you should face a career.
Well, as you know, as a typical northern village girl like me, you know it must be a very, very tough one. I got married when I was only 15. I'm a mother of 3. My husband is still a typical northerner and from a different party. He's from PDP. He was an APC, then ran to PDP. So when I said I'm starting this whole thing, it's not been easy, but thank God to my husband, to my mom, and my 2 sisters. They really supported me and they pushed me. But apart from them, I'm very, very sure, as I'm sitting right here, a lot of people view me as an alien because it's something that's not a kind of irregular thing, something that's not very, very common, especially from where I come from. So it's very, very challenging, but all thanks to my husband, because he's always been supportive and he always dreams along, and he gave me all the necessary support, and he so much believed in me, and still I believe in him. I think all thanks goes to my party people, as they believe in me and they always push me forward.
So apart from your husband and the belief you have in yourself, what other people supported you?
You know, when I could remember when my chairman and Professor Gensley Moghalu called me and told me that he wants me to run with him, I told him that's never going to happen, because if I look at my north as a female coming out as a vice presidential candidate, it's going to be, I even told, I can remember Mr. Lai, that's the organizing secretary of my party, I told Mr. Lai, this is a no, it's not going to happen because my people will never accept me. But to my surprise, when I went back to my state, it was a kind of, it was even overwhelming, because especially the king of my own locality, that's from Getso village, when I went to him, he welcomed me with an open hand. Even the Emir of Kano, he gave a lot of encouraging words, even, and he sent a message across that, yeah, as a female, as a Muslim female, that yes, I can run for this office. And they all, as the way people welcome me and the kind of fellowship I'm having from young people and women, to be candid, I'm over. It was a blast. I never thought that it's going to be happening. It's going to be possible.
Yeah, the young generation, and then the not too young to run bill. How did that help your political ambition?
Yes, I can remember then Mr. Nkem called me when they were pursuing the bill, that this is what they are, as in portraying, this is what they are trying to push. I told them that if this is going to happen, it's going to be a very, very good one. And that's one of the major issues that brought us on board. Because if at all that bill wasn't signed, I don't think we'll have the opportunity. That really helped a lot.
So let's talk about women in governance and other activities outside the traditional home setting. What would you say is largely responsible for women not having that confidence to step into the public domain like you did?
You know, it's not the way a typical Nigerian or African woman is raised. It's not easy for even a woman to go, not even only to politics, though politics is already categorized as in the kind of if any woman they see in a political environment, definitely she must be either a widower or maybe somebody that's from a kind of not responsible home. But sometimes it's all about passion. Because I always, if I look at people that you come into politics to, as in, make a difference, you truly want to make a difference, then you must have a backup. You must, as in, prepare yourself well. And as a woman, you need to upgrade yourself. You must know what you even want what you want to give. Politics shouldn't just happen to you by accident. And that's why we're in trouble today. In Nigeria, maybe you feel like you are so very irrelevant and maybe you don't have much to do, even for men. So people just accidentally jump into politics. But I feel like politics should be something of passion, something that you earn, something that you feel like you own. Because if you feel you're a leader, or you feel like you have it in you, then you should come out and give. But I always used to tell my younger ones or people that I already met in politics that politics shouldn't happen by accident. Politics should be something that you should prepare for. Does your people even believe in you? Are they the ones? Because before I joined politics, a lot of people, even I can remember my mates, that's my husband's wife, was encouraging me, Umma, you're so capable. Why won't you just join politics? This thing I'm talking of is like 10 years ago. I told her, well, I have a long way to go because I'm still young and my kids are still young. I don't think I shouldn't go into that environment at that age. But a lot of people have been as in pinpointing. And I could remember the youth in my community. I'm a person that always voice out. Even in my secondary school days, when I was in the Polytechnic, although I was already married because I didn't go back to school until I got married. So even then I could remember I'm a person that always speak out, and I hate to see people being oppressed. I always try to stand for people. So my people always have already believed in me a long time, and they've been as in throwing it, join politics. So this kind of things I just smashed to pieces and it happened.
So how will you describe the journey so far?
The journey is a very difficult one.
But you have been bold and courageous enough to even step out from your locality to the national level. So how would you describe your journey?
The journey is not easy because what I'm telling you, the most difficult part of Nigerian politics is finding people that believe in what you believe in. It's very, very difficult because, as I told you earlier, Nigerian politics is a very, very different one. People are not into or running for the offices for people. They are running for the offices for their own pockets. So the most challenging aspect of it is finding people that dream along with you or dream like you, like-minded people. So we just for example, I told you I started with NPM. I registered NPM with the chairman. I was the national secretary of the party then. But I have to leave because we didn't share an ideology. So that's my main challenge in this Nigerian politics. Let me give you a typical example. During the 2019 elections, we've been sitting on a round table with most of the presidential candidates, trying to who is going to back out and give an opportunity as in for somebody who feel is more deserving. Do you believe that everybody is having a personal interest, and at the end of the day, like 75% of them went and collect some chicken change and back out? So a lot of us, my main challenge in politics is a lot of us are not going into politics with a kind of, let me say, defined motive. And the second one is, that's if I'm coming to as a normal ground, I'm a very friendly and outgoing person. I come to believe that Nigerians have one sickness in their head. They believe if you are in a kind of position, you can't be simple, you can't blend in. If you're trying to be humble, people will take it as a weakness on you. And I'm a person that if I'm with people, I don't know how to boss around, I don't know how to, so I feel like if I meet whoever I meet, I should blend in. So this is my greatest challenge. These two things are my greatest challenge politically. When people feel like, yeah, you have to behave bossy, or you have to send them a negative signal for them to respect you. So Nigerians have this sickness at the head, yes, definitely.
Well, we'll pause for a break right now, and when we return, Gender and Parliament continues. If you're just joining us, the program is Gender and Parliament on the services of the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA Parliament to be precise. And our guest is Umma Getso, a former presidential candidate of the YPP, an entrepreneur. Support each other, that catches my attention because women have always been, we need to be given that chance. We can do this. We can achieve this. We need the support to get this. And then we have women who contest or vie for an office or aspire to an office, whether in government, in politics, wherever. And we have women who are seen publicly supporting them, but when it comes to voting, we discover the woman comes out with the least vote. What do you think goes wrong at what point?
There's something that I think even you as a lady will not be happy me saying it, but I have to say it. You can see there's one thing. Women, we hardly create a kind of direct link with the voters. As a woman, we even have more opportunity to go out and mingle with the common man. Because politics doesn't happen up. It's there. The voters are the power of voting. And all you need is to give people hope that you can do it. They should even know you individually. But most of female politicians are very, very invisible on the field. They're very, very invisible. So if at all we can go out...
Sorry, when you say invisible, what do you
very
mean?
Visible, as in we don't have a kind of direct link with the common man. Because there are some things, women we have... Whenever I'm seeing all this feminists online, they are always fighting to be feminist. Yeah, I do support them in some aspect, but you cannot expect a privilege, to happen, because we always want to mix the two. As in, you want to end up privileged when you're in a working place or when you're in a kind of political environment. You still want to have that as a privilege or those subsidies as a woman, and you still want to stand there and see you're a fighter, you want to earn it. You have to create a balance. So we just need to make the voters believe we too are capable, or even more capable than the men, because we are nurturers. We are mothers. We are supposed to harmonize everybody and carry everybody along.
But in making people believe that we are capable and mingling with the grassroots, like you said, is that where does changing the narrative, changing the narrative of what you have identified, how do we engage that in changing the narrative?
If you see let's take a male politician. I know a lot of politicians that are always on the ground. They attend every funeral, that's, let's say, in the north. They attend every wedding, they were always making themselves available. They always create a channel to link them up with people. But many female politicians, you hardly see them on the surface until during the election time. For you to be a female politician, you have to create a different setting for your own self. For example, now in India, a lot of their politicians, they don't even get married, both male and female. If you're a politician, you're already sacrificing yourself to the society.
Okay, so how have you been able to strike a balance, the family life and being active in politics?
In my own case, I always give my days, the whole of the day, for my own work. But the nights, because even some political calls, if they are not urgent, I don't receive them at night. I try to be with my husband and my kids, and my weekends. I always try to pick a day off in my weekends, to make sure I stay with the kids and my husband. So for them, take care of the house for the whole day.
Okay, because I'm trying to lay that side by side with political activities, particularly when you were contesting, that you had to be out practically all the time, campaigns and all.
That one, when I'm during the campaign, is like taking a whole break from your family. So you have to, on some days you don't even have to come back home to sleep, but on the days you can come back to sleep, you can create that time late at night, as if they are not going to school. But during campaign time, a woman is supposed to, or a politician is supposed to sacrifice the whole of himself and his time out So after that, I think after our election, I took a very long break with the family, with my husband and everybody. We tried to, get back on track. But during campaign time, it's not very possible. It's not possible for anybody. You just have to give it all. You're always available. You have to answer every call. You have to be on the field every time. You have to accept every invitation during campaigns. So you have no excuse that.
Now, we have been talking participation in politics, and we didn't talk about financing. What was your source of your financial backbone? Because you are an entrepreneur, or because you had people who could crowdsource for you, or it was something that you chose to do, like, okay, I'm financially comfortable, I can put in the
Well,
resource.
no politician can be financially comfortable as Nigerian politics is concerned. You have to give your own maximum of what you have. And there are a lot of people that believe in me, and they do contribute too. And even my party, they played their own role too, because we have a kind of the campaign DG and everything. They did their best. We source from people that believe in what we're doing, the different kind of contribution. Though it was very, very challenging, but we did it by God's grace.
So from that experience, how would you rate the average Nigerian woman's access to finance?
Well, that's the most difficult part of it. Because if you want to join politics, number one, you have to know, are you even capable of giving out the resources? Number one, the resources as in as in you have to create a budget, as in is it within your own reach? And how many, as in you have to make people believe in you so that they can contribute when the time comes. Because all over the world, politics is not done with your pocket. Because even in America, you have to, people other than your own party and the people that believe in you need to contribute in the journey. But if we will be able to get a Nigeria that will play it very, very fair, that one will be a little bit less challenging. Because if there are people that is only investing in the journey and the logistics, that one is fair. But as Nigeria is happening today, that's why people like us were not even able to make an impact, because you have to still pay the voters, and that's not what we're out to do. But the little logistics and other things that we're supposed to cover, yeah, we thank God our people that believe in us, and the little we have, we invested in it, we contributed.
So as we wind down on the program, what is your word to those who are aspiring to come into politics, the younger generation? You are of the younger generation.
That's in Nigeria.
Well, you are still very young, because we see those who are in politics, we know to be in politics to be in the age range of 50-something, 60-something, something you do when you have retired from service.
God bless you. So I will say that we should come out with a lot of courage, because it's not funny being in Nigerian politics. You need a lot of courage, and you need a lot of hard work and determination. And by God's grace, we're trying as in finding mentorship school or mentoring organizations that will help mentor young people, young generation, because there's something that's really, really scaring me. If you see the younger generations now, they've lose interest in joining politics, because they feel like it's like the burden is too much. They don't want to waste their time, and they have already tagged the politicians as either thieves or corrupt. They don't want to just join it. But I'm always urging the younger generation to come and do it, because we're not going to be here forever. We're not even thinking of doing it now. We're thinking of grooming others to come and do it, because whoever is in politics now, 80, 70, even if somebody is not willing to retire, God will definitely retire everybody. So it's time for us now to groom the younger generation to come and take over.
It's been a pleasure talking with you on the program Gender and Parliament. We do hope you oblige us your time when next we call upon you.
By the grace of God, I'll try. Thank you very much.
So the program Gender and Parliament comes to a close at this time, and will come your way again next week. I am Vivian Itekpefo. Thanks for joining us.